Hello everyone, welcome to the Bluebook Records. Rule 3, Subdivisions. So what we have here is this idea that one work might appear in a volume or a part or a supplement. And we need something that identifies this volume, part, or supplement. And usually it's a number. So if you have, let's say, a volume of something, then we cite the volume number with a number, and if the volume is only one author, then we put that number at the beginning, right? And this usually happens where you have a volume of books, there's one author, and we put the number of the volume at the beginning. Now, sometimes, like in a law review, there's lots of different articles, and there's not just one author. So what we do in this situation is we put the volume number before the volume's title. And we can see this in law review citations where we have the author, the title of the article, then we have the volume number and the volume title, which is the title of the law review, abbreviated. We'll talk about that in a different lecture. Then we have the page number that the article starts on, and with a comma. Then we usually have the pin cite, which is the page number where the authority or the assertion lies, and then a parenthetical with the year. If there's no volume number, but it can be identified easily by year, then we use the year as the volume number. And we don't repeat the year at the end either. Sometimes the volume will include words. And in that case, we use brackets to kind of bracket off those words from the rest of the title, so it's not confusing. Sometimes we'll have supplements, and we identify the supplement in the parenthetical with the date at the end. Sometimes we'll have the year and the supplement. So we'll include the year with an ampersand and the supplement in the parenthetical. So now 3.2, pages, footnotes, endnotes, and graphical material. So here, the page number will be stated before the date parenthetical. And so for example, if it's a book, don't put a P for page or double P. These are used in different situations. No comma, So we'll have small caps book with the page number and the year parenthetical. This is 3.2a. Sometimes we use at, and what the Bluebook says, if it's easily confused with another part of the citation, we'll use a comma to set off at. So comma, at, and then usually a page number. Sometimes we'll use that when the title of the work ends in a number. So if we end in a number and then put another number as the pin site, that could be confusing. So if it ends in a number, we put a comma, at, and then the page number. We also do that if they use Roman numerals for pagination. So if there's a situation where there's an article, case, or another source that's not paginated, you put the page where the source begins. So, and this is kind of repetitive, but just hammering this home, when we're referring to material where there is pagination, we put the page number of the article where it starts, separated by a comma, and then where the specific material appears, which we call a pin site. If the material you're citing happens on the same first page where the article starts, you repeat that number as the pin site. So in a situation where there's a concurring opinion or dissenting opinion, you always put the initial page as the page where the case begins, not where the concurring opinion or dissent appears. But for the pin site, you'll, of course, cite where that material is within the dissenting opinion or concurring opinion. If you have a situation where your cited material is going across more than one page, you put those page numbers, dropping repeated digits. So if there's 4 digits, you might drop the first 2 and concentrate on the last 2. You separate by an N dash or hyphen. So there might be situations where the page, due to the page numbering system, an N dash or a hyphen might be ambiguous. So in that situation, you would use a 2. And if it's a situation where the material is on non-consecutive pages, then you, separated by a comma, will place those separate pages separated by a comma. So now we might cite to a footnote in a law review article. So how do we do that? So we give the page on which the footnote happens, separated by an N period, and then the footnote number, right, or the call number. There's no space after the period, So it's just N period footnote number. If there's more than one, if the footnote goes across more than one page, then you cite only the page on which the footnote begins. And then same thing, N period, and then the footnote number. To cite multiple footnotes, you would put NN period and then the footnotes. So for example, 180 N dash or hyphen 86, meaning footnote 186 to 180 to 186. And then non-consecutive footnotes. They're the same as non-consecutive pages, right? But you just add the N period and then footnote number, separated by commas. So for graphical material, you would cite the page number it's on and its designation. For example, if it's a table, and then table 2, table 3, followed by the year. Again, no space after the period. If there are multiple charts, tables, figures, then check out table T16 for the Perl and use commas and ampersands to separate. Noting that there's no comma before the ampersand. So sections and paragraphs. If an authority has sections, which kind of looks like the double S, or the paragraph number, you cite to those subdivisions. If there is a page number involved, or if it's useful in locating whatever resource, then add that separated by a comma. So if the authority is organized, what the Bluebook says, in part by indented paragraphs, not introduced by the paragraph symbol, then we use para, period, and then the paragraph number. A common mistake, don't use at before the section or paragraph symbols. And we'll discuss more the use of the paragraph symbol and section symbol in a later rule. So subsections. If a certain source uses punctuation that separates sections, then use the punctuation. Don't change it. Don't put brackets. If there's a hyphen, use the hyphen. If it's a parentheses, use the parentheses. If there is no separating punctuation, then you'll use parentheses, not periods or hyphens or anything else. Multiple paragraphs, this is C. Multiple paragraphs should be treated the same as multiple sections. where we have double paragraph signs. And 3.4, appended material. So when we're citing to appended material, then we put the appropriate abbreviation, again, table T16, in the citation. If there's a particular page or section, you add that. And finally, 3.5, internal cross references. So here we're using supra or infra. So we use supra in italics when we're referring to information that has already appeared in the article. We use infra to refer to material that is later in the piece. So I would refer to Rule 3.5 for examples of the forms that you could use. Noting where there's italics, where the commas go or don't go. And noting that these are internal cross-references, and we may see something different in what are called short forms when we're using supra. So that's all for section 3 of the Bluebook lectures. We'll take a short break and continue with section 4. Thanks, everybody.